my guest today is Uros Kralj, and we talk about the most astonishing food in Slovenia and Croatia.
Yeah, that's correct.
Where it comes straight from a farm. So you wake up in the morning in a home where you're staying over there. So you're getting that pure hospitality and you get to feast on local produce. For me, it's like heaven on earth, and I can't wait to go. Uros, how will people find out about you?
So they can find us on our webpage, which is hiddentreasuretours.com.au. We have our own Facebook page, Hidden Treasure Tours, and we've also created YouTube channel, which is named Hidden Treasure Tours.
Yeah, look, jump on, have a look. You're going to see lots of blues and greens because Uros says they're the colours of Slovenia. Stay right through to the end. I know you're really going to love this. I'm Robin Cook, and this is Stories from the Red Couch. Uros, I am a shocking traveller, and my sister is constantly saying to me, Robin, you need to come with me and come to all of these places. But I feel really strongly about just being a tourist. And I don't like the idea of hopping on a bus with 50 other people and travelling somewhere and hopping off the bus, having a look, hopping back on the bus and going again. Is that the way that you travel? How do you travel?
Well, I completely understand what you're saying, and this is always something that I admire with other people doing it, because I've never traveled that way. I've never been on a bus with 50 others, or it's just not the way I travel. And I believe that people in the future will be looking in more intimate way of traveling, and that's exactly how we do it. So we take up to 6 people.
That's not many, is it?
No, not many. But to give them personalized experience, you need to have low numbers.
So that would be like travelling on your own, except with a small group of people, and then having that opportunity, because I imagine that everything you do will be closely connected with the people who live in the area. How does that work?
Oh, for sure. That's one of the points of traveling with us. We introduce you to locals. Interacting with locals is, in my opinion, one of the most important things when you're on the road. You don't want to see places, you want to experience things. And you can only experience new countries, new regions with interacting with locals. And that's one of the things that we're highly focused on.
What sort of experiences do people get to do? Do they, boating or?
Oh, variety of things. Yes, we do sailing, we do whitewater rafting, we do hiking, we do specific cuisine events like chef coming on board just for us and do a cooking class with us, for example. There's some pretty unique events that you can't go online and book. You can't do that. So it's, luckily enough, I've established a vast friendship in my previous profession, and that's how these people are coming on board. Just for knowing me and understanding what I'm doing, they are willing to do something that they've never done before.
That's brilliant, isn't it? So in taking people to Slovenia predominantly, or where else do you go?
Well, we've started with Slovenia and Croatia just because of my knowledge of both of these countries and connections that I have.
Yes.
So, and yes, in the future we will be expanding, but only expanding into countries where we can offer exactly the same type of
you
traveling.
You already have the relationship with people in the area.
That's exactly correct. Yeah.
I read somewhere it must have been an art school somewhere, and people were saying, you know, you need to go and study the master's paintings and so forth. And then someone made the point of saying that perhaps you should go to where the masters went to be inspired. And that's the type of thing that I would like to have the experience of, is being inspired by a place. What sort of landscape do you see when you're travelling through Slovenia? Because I can't imagine. I've seen some pictures, but I can't quite get my head around it.
So first of all, it's very pristine and very clean. So I think that's another thing that people are amazed. How can everything be so clean and untouched? So I'd say a lot of green and a lot of blue. So you have a lot of lakes, rivers, forests. So our country is more than 50% of our country is covered by forests,
Okay.
which is third largest amount in Europe.
That's incredible.
It is.
Yeah.
And
I hope that they're doing some things to make sure it stays that way.
yes. Huge portion of it is national park, so it's protected.
Fabulous.
And, yeah.
That's good. That's good. And food, because I love food. And wherever I go, I really like to have the experience of what's grown locally. What sort of things are grown there? What do you get to eat when you go to Slovenia and Croatia?
Well, that's actually a very hard question because it depends on region.
Okay.
So, first of all, Slovenia has 4 different geographical regions.
Okay.
And then throughout the history, we've been highly influenced by multiple cultures. So Italy or Roman Empire or Venetian Republic from south, then Germany or Austrian monarchy from the north, and then of course more Slavic countries from east. So it's a bit of a mixture of combination of all of it.
Oh.
But nowadays, I think that, and with my humble opinion, that's where I take you, to places where they took cuisine to next level. So most of them are still being very traditional, but they've put some modern touch into cuisine. So, for example, one of the food events that I organize, and I'm very proud of that, the chef itself makes his own prosciutto, and it's renowned that Italians make the best prosciutto.
Yes.
Well, Italians are buying prosciutto from him.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. And when
That's
you
pretty
taste
exciting.
it and when you feel it melting in your mouth,
Yes.
you understand exactly why they're buying it from him.
Yes.
Yeah, so obviously from the meat part of it, there's a lot of pork, so pork products like prosciutto and so on, very quality beef. Probably Australia is more renowned for beef, but I think we're
On a par.
on a par with them, I
okay.
could say. But then so many vegetables, so many herbs they add to dishes. It's just whole variety. And this is something that we also focus on, giving you the variety. People just can't understand how every day there's a new dish put on the plate and something completely different. So they can't understand how they can be spoiled and surprised every day.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
What about wine? Because you've brought a bottle of wine, and I'm going to have some later. But it looks beautiful. So is it a wine area? You are close to Italy and so on.
Yeah, so Slovenia has 3 big wine regions.
Okay.
This wine is from Primorska region, which is close to coast and on a border with Italy. Because we're bordering Italy and then further along France, and these are the 2 most renowned wine countries of the world, people haven't heard about Slovenian wine a lot. But just in recent years, if you look at the Decanter, which is the biggest wine competition in the world, and if you type in Slovenia, you'll see how many award-winning winemakers and wines are coming from Slovenia.
Wow. And so I'm going to interrupt because is it something that you can get here in Australia? Can you go into a specialty wine? You can't.
Sadly, there's no Slovenian wine available in Australia.
Which is a good incentive to go to Slovenia to
for sure.
experience the wine.
I mean, I'd say this is a wine lover's paradise just because everything's so close.
Yes.
For example, in France, if you want to pursue the award-winning wines, you have to travel a lot. In Slovenia, in that particular region that this wine is coming from, so it's Goriška Brda, you have 7 gold or platinum medal winners in one valley.
Oh, that's incredible.
So pretty much it takes you 2 days depends on how much wine you drink, but it takes you 2 days to visit all 7 of them. And not just that, so I imagine that going into wineries elsewhere, you don't have the chance to speak with the winemaker itself. While here, we are still lucky enough that we can actually spend the whole afternoon with the winemaker itself, and that's experience.
Yeah.
So you're not just tasting wine, you're sitting with the person, he guides you through the whole process, and he lays his dreams and his passion while
beautiful.
Drinking the wine.
That would be so nice. That would be so nice. What about, so is Schnapps a staple in Slovenia as well?
Well, we have to admit that the word itself comes from Germany.
Germany, yes.
Yeah, and we do use a lot of German words in our vocabulary. But yeah, we would say that Schnapps is part of our history and tradition as well. And we do make some of our own brands of Schnapps. My mom's making some of them, yeah. So, they just get the Schnapps and then they create a new products out of it. So, for example, my mom makes walnut Schnapps, lemon Schnapps, what's the other one? So, one is from particular plant that I can't recall it, but that cures everything. People would say it also kills everything within your body.
It's about the dose.
Yeah, you have to take it with in very small doses.
Yeah. How do people find getting around the country with language? So, and how long have you been here? 20?
I've been in Australia for 5 years.
Yeah, okay. So when you're taking people back, how do people manage with speaking English, for instance? Is there many English speakers there?
Yeah, and I mean, English is first foreign language, so most of them have learned at least to a certain extent in school. But I'm there to help if there's a language barrier, although I have to say that most of the people I work with have at least basic knowledge of English and they really work hard to communicate. So
I reckon there's a few words that we should learn. What would we learn if we went to Slovenia? What words should we learn?
Definitely dober dan, which means good day.
Dober dan.
Dober dan,
Dober
yes.
dan.
And na zdravje, which means cheers, because you'll be drinking a lot of liquids. Let's say liquids.
Okay.
Yeah, so na zdravje would definitely be the one to learn.
Yeah, I think that's fun. What kind of accommodation would you be staying in when you're there?
Well, people are used to accommodation being labeled with stars, so 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. With my suppliers being locally family-run businesses, not many of them have even star rating, but feedback that I'm getting from my fellow travelers that this is more than just a star-rated accommodation, because they don't only get nice accommodation, clean accommodation, they get warmth and passion from the family that provided accommodation.
It's a whole experience, isn't it?
It is. It's more than just accommodation.
Yeah.
That's what I can
And that's
always
nice
say.
because you can stay in a 3, 4 or 5 star place and sometimes you wouldn't even know where you are, really, would you? Depending on the hotel chain.
For me, traveling is all about experiences.
Yes.
No one will brag when coming home, oh, I stayed in that hotel. They will always try to tell you a story. And that's what people get when they come back home from our tour. They tell a lot of stories. Oh, we did that. We've spoken with this guy. Oh, they taught us this and that. And I believe that's what traveling is all about. Not seeing places, visiting places, but experiencing it.
Yeah, I agree. Uros, thank you so much. I have friends who have been to Croatia, but not to Slovenia, and they came back with stories. And it makes it so very tempting to jump online and do that myself. Where can people find out about you?
So they can find us on hiddentreasuretours.com.au, which is our webpage. But then we also have Facebook page, which is Hidden Treasure Tours. And we also have our own YouTube channel where we've shared so many videos so far, and there's more to come. And YouTube channel is also Hidden Treasure Tours.
Yeah, excellent, thank you. My guest today was Uros Kralj, and we're going to be back next week. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. That's good. That's dramatic pause.
Thank you.